Nidhi Sri Chaitanya Kripabhano Bhuvi Bhuva Bharabhantarakam Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghujagam Sri Jiva Gopalakam Sri Gauranga Gunanugandana Vidho Sadhya Samidharnitam Papatrapanikantana Tanamhitam Govinda Gana Amritayi Sri Gauranga Gunanubandana Vidho Sadhya Samidharnitam Papatrapanikantana Tanamhitam Govinda Gana Amritayi Anandam Buddhivardhanayi Kanipanam Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Sit properly. Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram,
Cosa vale? Io pensavo su 150.000.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutam Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanitam Sang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhantam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Sunday morning Srimad Bhagavatam reading and discussion from the original Delhi Bhagavatams. These books were published in 1962, 64, and 65. And they're the original Bhagavatams that Prabhupada presented first to the world. And these particular books contain all the information that's necessary for a person to understand the personality of Godhead without any confusion, because there is a lot of confusion in this material world in regards to truth, Maxime. Yes, people are very confused. In fact, it's very rare that someone in this world can become a pure devotee of Krishna. It's not that there's thousands of pure devotees, no. And that one moon is far beyond all the stars. And Prabhupada is that moon. Someone said the other day, how can you worship a dead guru? Prabhupada is dead. How can you get initiation from a dead guru? This is not yoga. Yoga, the principle of yoga, bhakti yoga, is sound. Like the sound of the holy name is non-different than Krishna. Everything that the spiritual master says is Shastra. And we're going to talk about that this morning in my opening statements, just to get the show on the wagon, get rolling. Because we have a long production. We're expanding the production, and I wanted to thank people that are attending for over 2 hours every program. Thanking them for participating. It's only, think about it, I was meditating on it myself, Yashoda, recently. I said, well, gee, this is quite expanded. We've gone from, we went from a period of, we were having discussions, and then it went to, from an hour and a half, I thought, well, let's go back down to an hour and a half, because that's the only amount of time people can spend. And then I thought, well, an hour and a half. And then we talked about a 24-hour program. Oh, yeah, okay. But that requires steps to be able to get to the 24-hour broadcast from PDA HKS. So then, I think it was Rama Raghava who introduced a video. And when I saw the video, I thought, geez, this is a good idea. And so now we're expanding it to 3 videos per show. We're taking an idea and making it better. And it's become better. And by the way, if you have questions, I was talking to Shiv Narayan Prabhu from Japan this morning. I said, if you get questions, put them in the chat. So we'll use that as the vehicle for receiving questions to be responded by writing them in the chat. Some of the group are not comfortable about speaking online, but they can type their question in, and I'll watch the chat. We got lots of things that we do while we're running the show, but one of them is to follow the chat and use that as a means for discussion, okay? And answer your questions. Or you can call me if you have any questions, 289-244-4315. And I'm pretty much available 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Yeah. If I miss the call for whatever reason, I will get back to you. I do respond to all inquiries, because our service is very important, because we represent our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, in propagating the truth about Guru Tattva. And it's very important because there's lots of confusion, not only about this, about everything. And today it's very interesting. I'm reading Mother Rochisha Devidasi in Montreal. I'm reading the first chapter of the second volume of Krishna book, the Shamataka Jewel. Very interesting section. And we're going to go to that because it made me think about a few things. And I want to comment before we get into our full program. It's just a warm-up. Just warming up. We're letting people come to the program too. I see quite a few people have already got there. There's 25 now. That's great. You know, it's like I said yesterday, you showed Anandana Prabhu. You go to a doctor's appointment. Do you show up an hour late? Oh, sorry, I'm late. Oh, sorry, you can't see me. Come back tomorrow. This class, reading and discussion, is medicine for the serious disciples of Srila Prabhupada. It's a medicine. And we're using technology as a vehicle to transmit or deliver the medicine to others through transcendental sound. And this is the topic of today, partially. And I think you'll find it very interesting because I've been having a few questions about things. So we'll go to page 5, Ram Raghava. And this is Jambavan speaking to Lord Krishna. Jambavan therefore said to the Lord, "My dear Lord, I can now understand who you are. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, the source of everyone's strength, wealth, reputation, beauty, wisdom, and renunciation." These are the qualities of Bhagavan, as we all know. This statement of Jambavan's is confirmed by the Vedanta Sutra, wherein the Supreme Lord is declared to be the source of everything. Jambavan identified Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality, Lord Vishnu. "My dear Lord, you are the creator of the creators of the universal affairs." This statement is very instructive to the ordinary man, who is amazed by the activities of a person with an exceptional brain. The ordinary man is surprised to see the inventions of great scientists. But the statement of Jambavan confirms that although a scientist may be a creator of many wonderful things, Krishna is the creator of the scientist. He is not only the creator of one scientist, but of millions and trillions all over the universe. Jambavan said further, "You are not only creator of the creator, but you are also creator of the material elements which are manipulated by the so-called creators. Scientists use the physical elements or laws of material nature, and they do something wonderful, but actually such elements, laws and elements are also the creation of Krishna. This is actual scientific understanding. Less intelligent men do not try to understand who created the brain of the scientist. They are simply satisfied by seeing the wonderful creation or invention of the scientist." So I wanted to talk about this science principle because science has played a big role in modern world technology, absolutely. In fact, our Prime Minister here in Canada, Ram Raghava, he goes, "I believe in science." Now, he used that quote when dealing with the COVID vaccine. And a lot of people ask me the question, well, what do you think about the COVID vaccine? Because millions of people have taken this vaccine. And there's information coming out these days how it might be detrimental to people's longevity and their health. Absolutely, it's a fact. So this is the answer I give to people, Yashodanandana. Your body is your temple, and you make a personal choice. That's what you do. So if you believe in science, go ahead, believe in science. It may be right, it may not be right, or wrong, it may be wrong. But you, as a person, it's your personal choice to decide. It's not up to us. Not any of us. Although some people think, oh, I'm going to guide my disciples. Yes. And this happened during this episode of the COVID vaccine, that some people who claim to be guru, and remember this, Prabhus, that the principle of Diksha Guru is you're the representative of Krishna. When everything you say is truth. Actually, we talk about it in our classes that Acharya, everything the Acharya, they claim to be Acharya, everything the Acharya speaks is Shastra. This is called indoctrination or misrepresentation of truth, especially when it comes from the lips of people who are bogus gurus. Very, very sinister and misleading to people. Now, people that are taking that role, they have a few disciples. Now, someone would say, well, you've got so many. Some people, they have a few disciples. Some people have more than a few, a lot more in a relative sense. They're not very many. Some people have 70,000 or 80,000 disciples. Like Gopal had quite a few disciples. Jayapataka has quite a few disciples. Some of these smaller acharyas, they have a few disciples, and they mislead them. You know, Yashodanandana Prabhu. I saw a video of Bir Krishna. Now, some people would say, well, how come you mentioned his name? Well, what am I supposed to do? Say I didn't see the video? It was him that spoke, not me. I'm only relating it to our group so that you get an idea of what it means to be a bogus guru, where he's giving personal information to people that are so-called his followers, the misled followers, indoctrinated followers by misrepresentation of our philosophy. He's telling them. I remember it vividly because it was during the time of the campaign to get everybody vaxxed by Dr. Fauci. They may put him in jail, actually, in America. There's so much propaganda against that now. But anyway, Bir Krishna, he's going, you should run up and inoculate your friends with the COVID vaccine. He told them specifically to do that. And they're thinking, oh, this is Shastra because my guru told me. Do you see how sinister this Ram Raghava is? Is it a small thing? No. This is an example of it. It's much worse what's going on with these people. And look at this one. Put up the slide I sent to you. Look at this slide. Why I decided that getting vaccinated against COVID-19 was the right choice for me by Jayadvaita Swami, April 3rd, 2021. Huh. Is that misinformation? Look what he did. He rewrote the Bhagavad Gita. Now he's got a new version out, revised and re-edited as well. Poison coming from a serpent. And we know about Kali, a serpent, so many heads. But they're pretending to be guru. He's a Diksha guru, so-called Yashoda. Can you believe it? And he's not only poisoning the Bhagavad Gita, he's poisoning people by recommending that they take the vaccination. Because I do it, I'm the guru. So people could say, well, you're so harsh. No, we're giving facts. We're not fault finders. It wasn't me that said that. You decide, everyone, what you want to do with your so-called health program, how you eat, what you do with your time. That's your choice. But these people are misdirecting people on every level possible, and this is very unfortunate. So science, my prime minister here in Canada, Trudeau, who's a woke liberal, pathetic man, absolutely pathetic if he's a man or I don't know what he is. But the fact of the matter is that he says, we trust in science. Well, Prabhupada talked about science. We'll keep reading here. How was that, Ruchisha? Interesting? We're talking about something very interesting. Because people, here's another point. People call me up and ask me, well, what about this vaccine? Even I was talking to Shiv Narayan this morning, and I mentioned about my plans for the speech this morning at the beginning of the program. He said, oh, no, I never took a vaccination. I have records, reports, medical information from others not to do it. I said, well, that's your personal choice, and congratulations. Science. The scientists do not understand so many things, and while they're experimenting, they could die from the same thing they're recommending. Jambavan continued, and here's another section from the Krishna book. Jambavan continued, my dear Lord, the time factor, which combines all the physical elements, is also your representative. You are the supreme time factor in which all creation takes place, is maintained, and is finally annihilated. And not only the physical elements and the time factors, but also the persons who manipulate the ingredients and advantages of creation are part and parcel of you, including the scientists, by the way, everyone, and the politicians. The living entity is not, therefore, an independent creator. By studying all factors in the right perspective, one can see that you are the supreme controller and Lord of everything. My dear Lord, I can therefore understand that you are the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, whom I worship as Lord Ramachandra. My Lord Ramachandra wanted to construct a bridge over the ocean, and I saw personally how the ocean became agitated simply by my Lord's glancing over it. And when the whole ocean became agitated, the living entities like the whales, alligators, and Timagili fish all became perturbed. The Timagili fish is the ocean. In the ocean can swallow big aquatics like whales in one gulp. In this way, the ocean was forced to give way and allow Ramachandra to cross to the island known as Lanka, now supposed to be Ceylon. This construction of a bridge over the ocean from Cape Cormoran to Ceylon is still well known to everyone. After the construction of the bridge, a fire was set all over the kingdom of Ravana, and during the fighting with Ravana, each and every part of Ravana's limbs was slashed and cut into pieces by your sharp arrows, and his head fell to the face of the earth. Now I can understand that you are none other than my Lord Ramachandra. No one else has such immeasurable strength. No one else can defeat me in this way. That is Krishna's position. And Ram Raghava, please show I wanted you to see this, everyone. Now, this is the bridge. Now, this is an aerial view of the bridge crossing the ocean that was constructed, that is referred to here in Bhagavatam by Lord Ramachandra. my Lord wanted to construct a bridge over the ocean. So that's very interesting scientific information, verified by Srila Prabhupada in his wonderful explanation of Srimad Bhagavatam, especially the 10th canto. And these are jewels of knowledge. Yes, they are. And if you know about diamonds, then you'll appreciate how glorious a diamond could be. But more glorious than the material diamond, the rough diamond, is the diamond of information that we get from Prabhupada's authorized literatures, which shouldn't be changed. And that's going on in the name of the disciplic succession. And this is a great sin. And one last point. We want to thank everybody that's participating. This is the Delhi Bhagavatams. It's a challenge to sell these. It is. So they don't just fly off the shelf. They have to be offered to other people and an explanation why they should read these books. It's not that you just sell. I'm a salesman. I'm not bragging. I've sold a lot of things in my life. Yes, I had to. I was a grihasta. I had to struggle to make money up and down, but I did learn how to sell. So selling isn't it's just a matter of a change up. You walk up in the airport. I used to go to O'Hare Airport and sell books there. When Uddhama Shloka was president of Chicago, I'd fly over there. Yeah, and Tripurari was there and other people doing book distribution. I was learning that techniques. Where are you coming in from? And then you do what was called a change up, and the people would pay the money and then they throw it in the garbage. We don't want that to happen here. We want people to want to read these books like we do and love them so much. We're going to read it in a few minutes. We love them so much, and we realize that this is the opportunity. This transcendental knowledge is an opportunity to wake us up out of our comatose condition of bewilderment and stupidity. Be humble and read these books, and you'll become enlightened. And then you can serve this mission of Lord Chaitanya and go back home, back to Godhead. And we'll go forward with our next section of the program. I almost ran out of breath, Yashodananda. We're going to watch Prabhupada speak and listen carefully. How long's this next talk?
This next talk is a little over 4 minutes and it's entitled, "It is Quite Natural to Surrender to Father."
There you go. Let's go ahead.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam. This madness, this hallucination, this illusion of this material world is very difficult to overcome. It is very difficult. But Lord Krishna says, Mami vaja prapaddante mayamitang taranti. If anyone voluntarily or understanding his miserable life, if he surrenders unto Krishna, my dear Krishna, I forgot you for so many lives. Now I understand that you are my father, you are my protector. I surrender unto you. Just like a lost child goes to the father. My dear father, it was my misunderstanding that I went away from your protection, but I have suffered. Now I come to you. The father embraces. My dear boy, come on. I was so much anxious for you all the days. Oh, it is happy that you have come back. The father is so kind. So we are in the same position. As soon as we surrender ourselves to the Supreme Lord, That is not very difficult. A son surrendered to the father. Is it very difficult job? Do you think? Is it very difficult job? A son is surrendering to his father. It is quite natural. There is no insult. Father is always superior. So, if I touch the feet of my father, if I bow down before my father, it is glory. It is glorious for me. There is no insult. There is no difficulty. Why should we not surrender unto Krishna? This is the process. Mahami was a prapadanti. All these bewildered living entities, when they surrender unto me, maya metang taranti, yes, no more any miseries of life. He becomes at once under the protection of the Father, you will find, at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Ahankam sarvapapi bhamokshayashami masucha. When the father, when the child comes on the breast of his mother, the mother protects. If there is any danger, the mother is prepared to give her life first, then the child's life. Similarly, when we are under the protection of God, then there is no fear.
Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Very interesting, Yashodanandana Prabhu. Prabhupada started this brief speech by stating this hallucination is very difficult to overcome. And we all know how difficult it is. We're all experiencing it ourselves. It's an hallucination. We're identifying with this material body, the material circumstances, and the material difficulties as real. But in fact, it's a short turning on and off of a light. That's how long this one birth is. Here, I'll do it again. I do this regularly. Let's see if I can find my switch. I can't. I can turn the switch off. Look. There it is. That's how long life lasts. Let me turn it back on. What is the value? One more point and we'll move to the talk. What is the value, Prabhupada said, of a third-class man who changes the Shastra? Prabhupada presented Bhagavad Gita by his verses, his word-for-word meaning, his translations, and his purports. And Jayadvaita has made over 5,000 changes in the Bhagavad Gita. What is the value of these groups who don't understand this and distribute these books? Any of these groups that are distributing these books are missing a real understanding of this principle of not changing anything. And that reflects their mission and their character and their leadership. Any of the leaders that are promoting this, they are also bogus. How do you know when the pot of rice is cooked? Ram Raghava? You know. I'll give the answer. I'll be like someone else that we know. Gives the question and gives the answer. This is the answer. You just take one morsel of rice and you test that, and it tells you if the whole pot is cooked or not, just one morsel. People that sell these books that have been printed and published by Jayadvaita, these people are also uncooked, or however you want to say it. Let's move forward with the chanting of Jaya Radha Madhava. Please chant along, everyone. And then we'll have the reading and discussion from the Delhi Bhagavatams, this nectar books, with our speaker, Yashodanandana Prabhu. Haribol.
Sai. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jananandana Yashodanandana Braja Jananandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giridhavan ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadvip Dham ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. From Srimad Bhagavatam 1:1:1. Narayanam namaskritya. Narayanam namaskritya. Naram cheva narottamam. Naram cheva narottamam. Devim saraswatim vyasam. Devim saraswatim vyasam. Tato jayam mudirayat. Tato jayam mudirayat. One should utter the means of conquest, Srimad Bhagavatam, after offering respectful obeisances, 1, to the personality of Godhead Narayana, 2, to the Narayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, 3, to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then 4, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author, from Srimad Bhagavatam 1-4. Welcome everyone to this reading and discussion based on Srimad Bhagavatam. This particular reading is being conducted from the original New Delhi Bhagavatam, the 1962, 63, 65 version. And all English synonyms, translations, and purports are from His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, also known as the Krishna Consciousness Movement. As we do every week, we will be reading a few selected verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam itself, Canto 1, Chapter 2, which describe and explains the meaning and the benefit of hearing this powerful transcendental literature. Yadanudyasina yuktaha karma garanti nibandhanam Chindanti kovidastasya kona kuriyat kataratim. Intelligent persons do cut off the internet of the knot of reactionary work by remembrance of the personality of Godhead. Therefore, who will not give attention to his message? Shushrushoho shradadhanasya vasudeva kataruchihi Syan mahat sevaya vipra punyatirtani shevanat. O the twice-born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all ranges of vice, a standard of great service is done. And as the result of such great service, affinity in the messages of Vasudeva is made possible. Shrinvatam svakata Krishnaha punyasravana kirtanaha hridyantasto hyabadrani vidunoti suritsatam. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is also the Paramatma in everyone's heart and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, does cleanse the desire for material enjoyment in the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge for hearing his, Krishna's messages, which are themselves virtuous, when properly heard and chanted. Nashtaprayesha babadrishu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. By regular attendance in the Bhagavatam class or rendering service unto the pure devotees, all that is inauspicious in the heart of a candidate becomes destroyed almost to nil, and thus loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, comes into being, an irrevocable fact. Tadarajastamo bhava kamalo bhadayaschaye chetayeterana viddam stitam satve prasidati. As soon as irrevocable loving service is fixed up in one's heart, at that time, the effects of the nature's mode of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankerings, etc., do disappear from one's heart, and he becomes fixed up in a mode of goodness, which makes him completely happy. We will proceed with the specific verse for today. We are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 7, text number 14, text number 13. Yada mride korabas rinjayanam vireshu atabirgatim guteshu vriko darabidda gadavi marsha bagnorudande Dhṛtarāṣṭra putre. Yada, when mride, in the battlefield, Kaurava, the party of Dhṛtarāṣṭra, Srinjayanam, of the party of the Pandavas, Vireshu, of the warriors, Ata, thus, Viragatim, destination deserved by the warriors, Vrikodara, Bhima, second Pandava, Bidda, beaten, Gadabi, by the club, Marsha, lamenting, Bhagna, broken, Urudanda, spinal cord, Dhṛtarāṣṭra putra, son of King Dhṛtarāṣṭra. Translation. When the respective warriors of both the camps, namely the Kauravas and the Pandavas, were killed in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and the bygone warriors obtained destinations deserved by them, and when the sons of Dhṛtarāṣṭra fell down, broken by the spinal cord, being beaten by the club of Bhimasena, and was lamenting. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Transcendental topics on the activities of Lord Sri Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavatam begin from the end of the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where the Lord himself spoke about himself in the narration of the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, both the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam are transcendental topics of Krishna because of Lord Krishna. The Gita is Krishna Katha, or topics of Krishna, because it is spoken by the Lord, and the Bhagavatam is also Krishna Katha, because it is spoken about the Lord. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted that everyone should be informed about the Krishna Kathas by his order. Lord Krishna Chaitanya is Krishna himself in the garb of a devotee of Krishna, and therefore the versions of both Lord Krishna and Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are identical. Lord Chaitanya desired it that all who are born in India may seriously understand such Krishna Kathas, and then after full realization, they may preach the transcendental message to everyone in all parts of the world. That will bring about the desired peace and prosperity of the stricken world. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnanam Janashalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhaktivedanta Namine Prasannaya Prasantaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Bhagavad Vandana Khadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sharkara Yuktam Kadate Visheshataham Adadana Strinam Danteridam Yache Punaha Punaha Srimadrupa Padam Bhojadulisyam Janma Janmani Amsho Bhagavatosmyaham Sadadasu Asmi Sarvata Tat Kripa Pikshako Nityam Tat Prishta Satkaromisvam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. This particular purport is a very important fundamental instruction of our Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bharat Bhumiti Oy Malusya Janmajar, for those who have been born in the land of Bharat Bhumi or descendants of people from Bharat Bhumi, they should engage in para upakar. This is Prabhupada's emphasized this in dark bold. Lord Chaitanya desired it that all who are born in India may seriously understand such Krishna kathas, and after full realization, they may preach the transcendental message to everyone in all parts of the world. This was the desire and instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is very important. By nature, people who are born in this land are spiritually inclined. That is one of the great benefits of being born in that particular country called Punya Bhumi, the land of piety, the land of devotion. There's an interesting story of one of the leaders in the movement went to Sri Srila Prabhupada in Vrindavan and complained about an Indian devotee or some Indian person who had behaved in a way that he did not like. And Prabhupada said, yes, you will have to take another birth in India before you can go back to Godhead. It is also alleged that Prabhupada stated that many of his disciples would have to be born in India again before they could go back to Godhead. Because the specific benefit of being born in India is that automatically one is given a chance to associate with these transcendental literatures, beautiful rivers, the birthplace of Lord Krishna, the birthplace of Lord Rama, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, so many sadhus, so many acharyas. In India, this is the place, especially South India, where all the great acharyas have come from. Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vishnu Swami, Vallabhacharya, all of these great acharyas and their transcendental teachings have come from that sacred land. And everywhere you go, every river, practically every hill, there's some history of connection with transcendental benefit. Recently, somebody sent me a YouTube video where they were showing the birthplace of Hanuman, the monkey servant of Lord Ramachandra. Interestingly, many years ago, I went to Fiji and I was talking to a taxi driver. The taxi driver was obviously a Christian, and he asked me, he says, can you explain to me why the Hindus worship a monkey? I said, well, this person is not just a monkey. He's a devotee. He's a great devotee of Lord Rama. And the story is that one great demon had stolen the wife of Lord Rama. And this great monkey that you're mentioning helped Lord Rama to recover his wife from the demon Ravana. So it is not just worship of a monkey, it is worship of a great exalted saintly devotee who happened to render service in the body of a monkey. And I explained to him, they helped him build a bridge from South India to Lanka so they could cross the ocean and go defeat the demon Ravana and recover his wife. And he was somewhat satisfied by the explanation, explaining that nobody has explained things like this. I said, well, that is also because many of the Hindus don't understand their own culture, their own scripture. I says, and this is why we, as devotees or aspiring devotees, we hear from a self-realized soul. And I showed him a picture of Prabhupada. I had a little book with me. I said, this person has explained all these truths in his books. All these truths have been explained in his transcendental books. So this is very important for devotees when we preach, because we will meet many people from Indian background, from Christian background, from Muslim background, from Buddhist background, Jewish background, so many different type of denominations, different sectarian groups. But we have to present the truth just based on how Srila Prabhupada presented the truth. If you look carefully at Srila Prabhupada's books and the method that he used for preaching, some of you probably obviously have access to the computer. You look at a lecture from Srila Prabhupada, and a lot of time, whenever there is a Sanskrit term or a Bengali term, there will be some blue or some underline or italics. It is constantly full of quotations and citations from Srila Prabhupada, from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, the Vedas, the Upanishads, so many different evidences, some Vedic literature. In other words, Prabhupada is not just explaining some sentimental personal views. He's explaining the fundamental principle of quoting from the authorities. The other day, I was watching a lecture of Srila Prabhupada where he's explaining that religion means dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. That religion means the codes directly given, sakshat pranitam, by the Supreme Lord himself. We see in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains, yada yada hi dharmasya dlanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanama dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinachaya chadushkritam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Krishna explains, because the question comes up, well, why would God want to come to this planet, to this earth? And Krishna explained, whenever there is a decrease in religion and an increase in irreligious sinful activities, at that time I come. So the question, okay, this is when he comes. Why does he come? Paritranaya sadhunam, to protect the devotees and to chastise the demons. Now, in this particular time of Kali Yuga, the increase in demonic activities has increased considerably. And it is not just in one particular country, it's everywhere, even in India. Sinful activities have increased, encouraged by heads of government for profit-making, drinking, smoking, illicit activities, gambling, prostitution. Now there's pornography, there's meat eating rampant everywhere. So many sinful activities are being promoted by the government for money making. And this is why Krishna comes. Prabhupada explained that Krishna has come in the shape of his transcendental movement. And we have to be very smart to distinguish and to recognize what really represents the original, pure, transcendental Krishna consciousness movement and the original teachings, and what represents the false, pretentious, so-called Krishna consciousness movement or Sahaja movement, meant simply for money-making. Recently, I had a devotee ask me, why is it that in some of your former speeches you mentioned the word Rupi Anuga, and what is the difference between Rupa Anuga and Rupi Anuga? Well, for those who do not know, Rupee, Rupee, is the currency of the Republic of India. And Rupa Anuga means followers of Rupa Goswami in the line of the 6 Goswamis, the foremost devotee, chief disciple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just like when we have our Bhagavad Gita reading, on Saturdays, we recite this beautiful prayer, Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. When will Srila Rupa Goswami bestow his blessings upon us? And the reason we say this prayer is because he is the chief disciple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was appointed and given the task by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself to establish the mission of Lord Chaitanya all over the world. He was dispatched to Vrindavan along with his elder brother, Sanatan Goswami, to write transcendental literatures and to rediscover the places of Lord Krishna's pastimes. So this is a very special devotee. Very special. So we are followers, through Srila Prabhupada, the foremost Rupa Anuga, the foremost follower of Rupa Goswami. We are followers of Rupa Goswami. But there's another class of devotee who are more interested in making money. That's why we call them Rupi Anuga Apasampradaya, or Kali Chelas. They're more interested in making money than properly understanding the teaching, the correct, original, non-adulterated teachings of Srila Prabhupada. Now, why do we say this? You saw earlier in the program, Vishwakarma Prabhu presenting, showing the Srimad Bhagavatam, the recently printed original Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, we do know that Prabhupada wanted these various literatures that he brought from India to be suitably edited, especially for the American public in the USA when he first came. This was Srila Prabhupada's desire. And he trained one editor, Ayagriva Das, Professor Harwood Wheeler, to edit his literatures, and under his personal direction and supervision, trained him how to edit his books. This was the desire of Srila Prabhupada, but some people did not like this. They thought they knew better than the Acharya. They thought they understood his teachings better than him. So they wanted to change the American disease. In 1977 in Vrindavan, Prabhupada requested a devotee to go to Mathura. He gave him some money. He says, go to this specific pharmacy, buy this specific medicine, and pay this specific price or range of price and bring it back. Of course, the devotee went to the wrong pharmacy, paid the wrong price, and brought the wrong medicine. When he came back, Prabhupada said, yes, this is the problem with you Westerners. The change disease. You always change the instruction. Why couldn't you just follow what I've given you? Why could you not just follow what I've given you? Another time in Bombay, when devotees were living in the Akash Ganga building near the ocean, devotees are in an apartment on the 7th floor. So every night, Srila Prabhupada wanted some milk. He took some milk, but he did not take sugar with the milk. And in India, when you request them for warm milk, they're not just going to give you warm milk. They're going to add all kinds of things. Shaved almonds, sugar, saffron, all different kinds of, it's like a full meal. But Prabhupada just wanted warm milk without all of that. So the devotee brought the usual standard milk that people buy with everything in it. And Prabhupada said, what is this? Why couldn't you just follow the instruction? Just warm milk with no sugar. And Prabhupada again pointed out, this is the change disease. Why you are not following the instruction? And I've been told that Prabhupada mentioned the same point to many other devotees in different circumstances. And this relates to the point of not changing Prabhupada's books. Now, people may argue, well, we're not changing, we're just editing because there's mistakes. Well, whatever mistakes may have been there, or alleged mistakes, if it's a typo, okay. But then this opens the floodgates. They went from, okay, we're just correcting a few typos in the book to 5,000 changes. No, this was not mandated by Srila Prabhupada. You will not find anywhere any instruction of Srila Prabhupada where he has told any of his disciples or editors to go to the manuscript and make 5,000 changes. He has not given that instruction. This is again a manifestation of the change disease. Prabhupada gave him instruction how to carry on initiations after his departure. They didn't like that, so they wanted to change the instruction. So many nonsense things happened. Prabhupada told devotees many times. He introduced how to do kirtan, explaining the difference between bhajans and kirtans, how they should play the mridanga, how they should play the kartal, how they should handle the kirtan. Now it is a complete sahajiya nonsense that they've developed. I've had devotees send me YouTube kirtans that do not resemble at all how Srila Prabhupada started kirtans and introduced how to do kirtan in this society. And somebody may say, well, who do you think you are to criticize devotees who are chanting Hare Krishna? We're not criticizing. We're just explaining how Srila Prabhupada in his society for his followers wanted things to be done a certain way. So those who are serious, now let me repeat this, those who are serious about spiritual advancement and following Srila Prabhupada, the empowered Shakti Avatar and pure devotee, should desire to follow his instruction, not concoct and change his instructions. I've been personally in kirtans, Vishwakarma knows this, and many devotees know this, where Prabhupada sent his personal servant or secretary and told devotees, stop the kirtan, just chant Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Hare Krishna. But devotees sometimes would go to these fancy Bengali beats and everything and chant Hari Bol for 20 minutes or something. Prabhupada said, no. Just follow his example. If you want to understand how to do kirtan, go to this website, causelessmercy.com, CAUSELESSMERCY.com, and locate the kirtans. In the bottom of the page, there's all different kinds of non-MP3 kirtans. If you look around in the bottom, you'll find all the kirtans, all the different Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Hare Krishna, Jai Radha Madhava, Govinda Jai, everything is given there. The original 1966 kirtans. I was told by a devotee, and I've not seen that quote anywhere, that the original tune that Prabhupada gave, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, somebody said that they asked Prabhupada in 1966, where's that tune come from? Prabhupada said, this is Krishna's favorite tune in Goloka Vrindavan. Now, again, I don't have any quote for it. I don't have the direct citation, but this is the first tune that was introduced by Srila Prabhupada when he came to America. We should have the decency and respect for Srila Prabhupada and not concoct bogus, non-authorized chant kirtan. There's millions of those in Bengal, the land of Sahajiyas, and Vrindavan. Just follow Srila Prabhupada. Then all success will come, to whom it may concern. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and the presentation of the truth by you for the benefit of all of our members that are expanding. And it's interesting to note, Prabhu, that in Toronto, we had an interesting experience with Srila Prabhupada when he came to the Avenue Road temple that we purchased for him back in 1975. And the reason we did that was because back in the day, we lived in a house on Gerrard Street. Now, this house was next to the Allen Gardens, where the drunks used to go. I remember Prabhupada stayed on a street next to us called Pembroke Street when he came to Toronto for a visit back then. And we first looked at the building on Avenue Road. And if you recall, I told this pastime earlier that we were trying to arrange, Jagadish was the GBC president at the time. And it was a great thing that Prabhupada came to Toronto. We were like, couldn't believe it. He got that wish fulfilled by Srila Prabhupada to visit Toronto. And but we didn't have any place for him to stay. And because we lived in a house, Gerrard Street, which was a 3-story house that we rented. But it was filled with devotees. We had remember, when they closed the Hamilton temple, we had 19 Prabhupada disciples join from Hamilton. The most Prabhupada disciples, I believe, in North America came from Hamilton, where we are. And so what happened was Prabhupada didn't have a place to stay. So someone was renting a single bachelor apartment around the corner where all the people on Pembroke Street were addicted to intoxications as well. So we rented that room because Prabhupada, they wanted to rent a room for Prabhupada at the Royal York Hotel. And you'll see the famous picture, it comes up online, where we had the convention, a press conference there with Srila Prabhupada back then. And there's beautiful photographs of him at that conference. But we wanted him to stay there, but he refused. No. He wanted to stay with his devotees. And he could just come out of Pembroke, the building, and make his way around the corner and go to the Gerrard Street Temple, which is just a few hundred feet, and come in, and we would have this glorious opportunity to be in the personal presence of the pure devotee. And everybody really thought that. There was a comment the other day, by someone, what's the value of Prabhupada's personal items, like his shoes and his kurta? These are absolute transcendental objects of devotion for all his disciples. That's the point. There is a significance in those articles. Just to clarify that for everyone. It's not any doubt for people that understood the position of Prabhupada as the bona fide representative of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Acharya representing Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. Not an ordinary, mundane person. No, not at all. And everything, for example, Mahaprasadam, Rochisha Devi Dasi. I had a chance to eat the remnants of Srila Prabhupada's prasadam, leftovers. It's called Maha Prasadam. Did you know that? If you could actually get the leftover sugar cane pulp. I remember we stole a plate of Mahaprasadam in Mayapur, Yashodanandana. We contrived a whole system, myself and my friend Udam Ashoka, how to steal the prasadam from the GBC, who were hoarding it for themselves. And we thought, what's this? They don't distribute it to everybody, so we stole it. And I remember sitting out in the field where we ran from the big building. There was only one building back then. And we ran from the building out into the bush. And we got some other devotee to join us. I don't know who it was, but I remember getting the pulp, Ram Raghava, from the sugar cane and chewing on the chewed, because it was Maha Prasadam. So that's an important point to say. Now we're getting back to Toronto. In Toronto, Prabhupada would stay at the temple. And as we gathered momentum, then more people from the Indian community started to come to the Toronto temple. Remember, East Indians in Canada were very few back then. In fact, in Hamilton, we used to go around and look for an East Indian person. And there wasn't one we ever met. Back in the early days, we thought, oh, good. Then gradually it started to populate the East Indian community. And then when we were in Toronto, they started to fill the temple room. And we thought, well, the best thing would be maybe we could get a bigger place to accommodate the East Indian community, because they seemed receptive. And then there's a whole story. You can see it online. The story of the purchase of the Toronto Temple. One of my friends who's the correspondent for the India Times published it on his website. How we faced racism and prejudice in buying the Toronto Temple for Srila Prabhupada. And so Prabhupada came to the Toronto Temple in 1976 to celebrate this great occasion. And when Prabhupada was speaking, I have beautiful pictures of him at the Toronto Temple. I don't have it right in front of me, and I don't want to disturb our talk, me searching for it. I have it around here right on my desk, but all these books are covering everything, so I don't want to take the time. But it shows a beautiful picture of Prabhupada in Toronto speaking at the Sunday feast to the East Indian community. Had packed the temple room. Oh yeah, we had like 500 people there. It was amazing. And I got another pastime. So Yojapati, B.B. Govinda is his name now. He gathered up all of the bathing material where we bathed Prabhupada's feet. And he went up on the balcony of the temple, Yashodanandana Prabhu, and you know what he did? He took that bath water and threw it over everybody's head down below. I got kind of upset because there was like tons of it going everywhere. And I thought, gee, Yojapati, I don't know if everybody, but it was a great mercy. He did a great thing. He was like that. He was very aggressive in that area. But anyway, Prabhupada was in the temple room. He gave the lecture. And he, at this point in the lecture, saw the large manifestation of Eastern Indian people that came to see him speak. And he spoke specifically about the verse that was mentioned here today in the Bhagavatam, that Lord Chaitanya desired it that all who are born in India may seriously understand such Krishna Kathas, and then after full realization, they may preach the transcendental message to everyone in all parts of the world. And Prabhupada, if you go to that lecture in Toronto, you'll hear him speak exactly the same words. Yes, that it was their duty to spread Krishna consciousness because of their pious birth in India. Now, the question may become posed to some of us, and it has been to me, why did Prabhupada leave India Well, one, he was ordered by his spiritual master to do it. And two, that people were reluctant to listen to him back in the day when he was preaching Krishna consciousness in India. Yes, it's true. Even he went and saw Sumati Maharaji for a ticket for passage, and she was reluctant to give it to him in the beginning. But he pursued her to give him a ticket. She thought he would fail. He was too old. It wasn't a good idea. Like he said, some people were ordered by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, His Divine Grace, to preach in England. Ban Maharaj, who I personally met on multiple occasions in Toronto, was one that failed when he went to England. So people were reluctant. He was going around trying to sell the Bhagavatams. He was going around, he had his Back to Godhead magazine, but was it widely appreciated like it became in America, where at one time we were selling over 1 million BTGs a month in the 70s. And now the BTG is about to close because there are nobody promoting it because of bogus guru leadership. That's the reason. I'm not going to get into the details of it. It's not necessary. But judge an action by its results, from 1 million BTGs to none. What do you think of that? It's proof perfect that there's been a deviant group of people, and Yashoda called them Kali Chela. And some of our God brothers say that, have entered the movement and destroyed it. So Prabhupada came to the West, and he came to Toronto, and he spoke these facts to the East Indian people here. Unfortunately, nowadays, it's become Hinduized. All kinds of different wedding ceremonies and pursuit of money from them to support the mission, changing of books, the selling of books, all of that, and we've been talking about them today. We won't get so much into it. But the reason is, why is the change disease here? Personal motivation, profit, adoration, and distinction. And that's going on. And we see it in the speeches of these people that come online. It's not like I'm speaking that, oh, I'm happy now because I got my own car and my own house. The guy's a sannyasi, he's renounced. But he's saying, well, the change is now, I've got my own car and my own house, and probably a bank balance filled with money from his disciples, because he's the Acharya disease. So some thoughts for us here on Sunday morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. And Ram Raghava, before we go ahead with Yashoda's presentation, let's go to Yashoda first. Prabhu, what's the new section for the missing leak section? And then we have a question from Shreya Devi Dasi that can be asked by Rama Raghava or read by him to you. But first, go to your new section.
Okay, we will briefly read from a section called Our Living Guru, which was a compilation done started in 1983, and which was finalized in 1993 in Badger, California. Let me just get on my screen here. Okay. Yep. We are reading from section number 1.2. If someone knew a bit about the Vedic culture and wanted to become spiritually realized, how would he go about it? He or she go about it? Answer: naturally, as we see confirmed in the Hara Bhakti Vilas, Bhakter Mahatmyam Akarnya Tamicham Sadgurum Bhajet. If one desires the devotional service of the Lord, one must worship the Sadguru, the eternal preceptor guru. And the sterling and uplifting words, actions, and character of Srila Prabhupada reveal him to be a 100% self-realized and God-realized Sadguru, the eternal preceptor guru for the world, directly empowered by Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to guide us in the supreme science of self and God and our loving relationship with the Lord. Accordingly, throughout his numerous volumes of Vedic translations and commentary, Srila Prabhupada highlights the first step on the path to spiritual realization, Ado Guru Asrayam. We must take shelter of the bona fide eternal preceptor guru. For instance, in the Srimad Bhagavatam 5.14.1, Srila Prabhupada writes, the most important information in this verse is Hari Guru Charana Aravinda. Actually, the spiritual aspirant's only business is to accept the spiritual master, the guru, and through him, we must accept the lotus feet of the Lord. Section 1.3, question, but even a non-realized neophyte, if he sincerely delivers the Lord's teachings, can't we see him as our eternal preceptor guru, because guru is one? Answer, true, even a non-realized neophyte may be able to deliver the Lord's teachings, but only partially due to his partial knowledge and realization. In other words, because his knowledge and realization are, after all, only partial, the neophyte is one with, but also different from the pure disciplined succession of completely God-realized eternal preceptor gurus. And so Srila Prabhupada writes, in this verse, Nectar of Instruction, text 5, Srila Rupa Goswami advises the devotee to be intelligent to distinguish between the Kanishta Adhikari, neophyte, Madhyama Adhikari, intermediate, and Uttama Adhikari, fully self-realized. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving some hints to the effect that an Uttama Adhikari Vaishnava can be recognized by his ability to convert many fallen souls to Vaishnavism. One should not become a spiritual master unless he has attained the platform of Uttama Adhikari. A neophyte Vaishnava or a Vaishnava situated on the intermediate platform can also accept disciples. But such disciples must be on the same platform, and it should be understood that they cannot advance very well toward the ultimate goal of the life under his insufficient guidance. Therefore, a disciple should be careful to accept an Uttama Adhikari as a spiritual master. Unhappily, since Srila Prabhupada's disappearance, some of his neophyte followers have telescoped the loose to strict spectrum of the word guru. These non-realized followers have felt compelled to guide aspirants as if they had attained the lofty pose of fully realized eternal preceptor gurus. It is not necessary at this point to retrace the ensuing trail of faith-shaking fall-downs, scandal, cover-ups, criminal acts, repression, and violence towards followers, and so on, which results from such unauthorized imitation. As Srila Prabhupada underscores in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 24.330, the guru must be situated on the topmost platform of devotional service. There are three classes of devotees, and the guru must be accepted from the topmost class. When one has attained the topmost position of Mahabhagavata, perfected devotee, he is to be accepted as a guru and worshipped exactly like Hari, the personality of Godhead. Only such a person is eligible to occupy the post of guru. Let me repeat that. Only such a person is eligible to occupy the post of guru. One should not imitate the behavior of an advanced devotee or Mahabhagavata without being self-realized. Srila Prabhupada warns in Nectar of Instruction, page 58, for by such imitation, one will eventually become degraded. Thank you. Back to you in the studio. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Wow. Wonderful. Very informative. And I wanted to mention to everybody in the program that if you can't attend promptly at 10 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday, for whatever reason, you may have some kind of personal time restraint, you can go to our YouTube channel, and everyone should subscribe to the YouTube channel at your convenience. You know, it's not absolutely necessary to be here on time. If you can, that's fine, but you can still come to the classes. Remember this point. There are 168 hours in every week, 168 hours. And even if the class is 2 hours a day, it's only 6 hours per week that you spend focused on sadhana bhakti, hearing and chanting in association, guru, shastra, sadhu. So it's not your whole life. It's 6 hours out of your week. And that's only 4 weeks. It's 24 hours, 1 day's time in a month of 30 days. So it's not a long time. And Ram Raghava, this is a section, and I wanted to mention to everybody, if you do have questions, don't be shy to put them in the chat, and we'll try to answer them. Yoshoda's got a question here. Could Ram Raghava give us an update on the YouTube visuals, and the question, if you could read it out from Shreya Devidasi, who's helping us with our service with this show, and we thank her very much for dovetailing her talents in this way. Go ahead, Ram Raghava, please. Go ahead.
On YouTube, there are 12 people watching.
Okay.
Right now. No questions. And Shreya Mataji asks, she wrote, Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Can I ask this question to Yashodanandan Prabhu? How to identify and differentiate the inner voice from the mind, chatter, and ego?
Microphone.
I'm answering that question while typing here. Basically, the difference is between the false ego and the real ego. To understand that we are eternal servants of Krishna is the real ego. That is our eternal constitutional position. In other words, the mind may tell us so many things, so many material things. There's an interesting story that Prabhupada quotes that is Guru Maharaj, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, used to tell his followers that in the morning when you get up, beat your mind 100 times with your shoes. And at night, do the same thing. In other words, the mind will want so many things for sense gratification. But we have to remember and understand we are eternal servant of Krishna. That is our real position. Not to be influenced and misled by the materialistic mind. I hope that helps. Hare Krishna.
Well, it does help. And if I could just further provide some information, the whole secret of Krishna consciousness is to fill your time with devotional service. It's like when you're empty, when your mind is empty, then all kinds of things can enter the mind. But when you fill it up with Krishna Katha, for example, constantly reading and chanting and performing other devotional service activities that you have in your life, like when we were in the temples, Rochisha Devidasi, there was no time for Maya. You were so busy that you didn't have time to think all those things because you were too busy trying to serve Krishna. So fill your life up with Krishna consciousness and you'll go back to Godhead even in this lifetime. You know, Prabhupada Yashodanandana Prabhu, as you know, said it's a matter of your consciousness that'll determine whether you're in the material or the spiritual realm. And those who are completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness, in the service of the spiritual master, and in the activities of devotional service, you have reached the transcendental state of samadhi, that state of focus, and you're no longer part of this material world. Yes. And this is the business of the devotees. Not to change robes, put on pink robes and show yourself. I'm a renunciate, but I'm happy because I've got a car and a house now. Excuse me? Do you think that that's going to do something for you? I don't think so. Let's move forward with the next section of the program. Ram Raghava, what is it the kirtan? We have so many items in the show, I start to forget.
No, Prabhu, it's a lecture. It's about 7 minutes long, and it's entitled Classless Society is Useless Society by Srila Prabhupada.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Let's roll that. Hare Krishna.
So, in Bhagavad Gita, we find all the solution of the human problems. All the solution. Chaturvarnang maya system gunakarma vibhagasa. Unless you divide the whole human society into 4 divisions, the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. You must have to divide. You cannot say classless society, that is useless society. Classless society means useless society. There must be an intelligent, high-class, ideal class of men to see that here is human civilization. That is Brahman. Chaturvarnang maya system gunakarma. Unless people see the ideal man, how they will follow. Jad jad acharati srestha lokastad anuvartat. The Brahmana is compared with the brain of the body. Unless there is brain, what is the use of these hands and legs? If one's brain is cracked, a mad man, he cannot do anything. So at the present moment, because there is scarcity of Brahminical qualified men in the whole human society, it is not meant, Brahman is not meant for simply for India or Hindus, but the whole human society. Krishna never said that the Chaturvarnang Maya system is meant for India or for Hindus or for a class. For whole human society, there must be a very ideal, intellectual man, so that people will follow. Brain of the society. That is the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. You cannot say that we can do without brain. Suppose from your body, if the brain is cut off, your head is cut off, then you are finished. What the hands and legs will do? If there is brain, there is no brain. So at the present moment, there is scarcity of brain in the whole humanity. Therefore it is in the chaotic condition. So, there is need, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, the human society, the whole human civilization must be reformed in this way, that there are intellectual class of men. Naturally, there are first class intellectual class of men, second class intellectual, third class, fourth class, like that. So, the first class intellectual men, they must be Brahmanas, in the Brahmanical qualification, and they must be Krishna conscious, then they can guide the whole society in the right way, and there will be no problem. This is Krishna consciousness movement. So, here Krishna says, how to become Krishna conscious? That is for the Brahmin, or the intellectual class of man. That is being described by Krishna. What is that? Maya sakkamana. The mind should be attached upon me, Krishna. This is the beginning. Somewhere or other, you have to our mind is attached to something else. Mind cannot be detached. We have got so many desires. So mind's business to become attached. Therefore, I accept something, I reject something. This is mind business. So you cannot become zero. You cannot become desireless. That is not possible. Our process, just like others, they say, you become desireless. That is a foolish proposal. Who can become desireless? It is not possible. If I am desireless, then I am a dead man. A dead man has no desire. So that is not possible. We have to purify the desires. That is required. Purify the desires. Sarvopadhi vinirmuktam tatparatena nirmalam. This is called purification, nirmalam. Tatparatena. Tatparata means when God conscious, Krishna conscious, then desires become purified. So we have to come to the point of not desirelessness, but to the point of purified desire. That is point. Therefore here it says, Maya sakta mana. You cannot make your mind desireless, but you fix up your mind upon me. That is it. Maya sakta mana prartha. This is the yoga system. This is called bhakti yoga. And this is called first class yoga. That is described in the Bhagavad Gita. That yoginam api sarvesam madgata antaratmana. The yogi, the first class yogi, yoginam api sarvesam. There are different kinds of yoga system. But the person who has accepted this bhakti yoga, he is thinking of me always. Just like these boys and girls, they have been taught, always thinking of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So if you read Bhagavad Gita and chant Hare Krishna, immediately you learn the whole science, how to become attached with Krishna. This is called Maya Saktamana. Maya Saktamana Prartha. Yogang Junjan. To practice yoga. This is bhakti yoga. Madasraya. Madasraya means under my direction or under my protection. Asraya.
Oh, very interesting explanation. And related to Shreya's question, the answer was given by Srila Prabhupada himself, because the mind's business, Prabhupada said, is to become attached. And Krishna consciousness, bhakti yoga, means to become attached to Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna and hearing the philosophy of Srimad Bhagavatam like we're doing in our classes, to become free from the confusion of the material mind, which is afflicting us in our journey in time. So it's a very interesting section of truth being presented exactly from the lips of the pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada, and the answer given by him in this program. So that should be the answer that we can all follow. And we're going to move forward with our next section, which is the Kirtan, Ram Raghava. Is that right? We're going to hear a chant by Prabhupada?
Yes, Prabhu, Kirtan by Srila Prabhupada, 2 minutes 54 seconds, and then 10 offenses, and then japa.
Okay, did you hear that, everyone? It's 2 minutes and 54 seconds. So hang in, Haribo.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 8, Offenses to be Avoided. The offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. First, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Sometimes the atheistic class of men take it that any demigod is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. But one who is a devotee knows that no demigod, however great he may be, is independently as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, if someone thinks that he can chant Kali, Kali or Durga, Durga, and it is the same as Hare Krishna, that is the greatest offense. Third, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Fourth, to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. Fifth, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Sixth, to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. Seventh, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. Because by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can be freed from all kinds of sinful reactions. It should not be taken that one may continue to act sinfully and after that chant Hare Krishna to neutralize his sins. Such a dangerous mentality is very offensive and should be avoided. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities. Karma Kanda. 9th. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Anyone can take part in chanting the holy name of the Lord, but in the beginning one should not be instructed about the transcendental potency of the Lord. Those who are too sinful cannot appreciate the transcendental glories of the Lord, and therefore it is better not to instruct them in this matter. 10th. To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names, and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success.
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna
वो मेरे को फर्क नहीं देता
Non possono download riesco a trovarlo.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
स्टार्टिंग में
Hare
दिए
Hare
Non possono
Ram,
download
Hare
riesco a
Ram,
trovarlo.
Hare Ram,
जब जो है
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
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 Hare Hare Ram
Ram, Hare 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 Krishna,
ये वो कुछ ज्यादा
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए
Hare Hare
वैसे ही
Ram,
गुरु है ना भक्ति चरण महाराज से
Hare Hare Ram, Hare
वो
Ram,
ऐसा
Ram
और
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare Hare.
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Rama.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Rama,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare.
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama.
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare. Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Ram
Hare Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna.
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram.
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Rama
Hare Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram, Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Ruhi,
Hare. Hare Rama, Hare
what's the
Rama,
time?
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
What's the
Krishna,
time?
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ruhi,
Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare
this won't
Rama,
be
Hare
tolerated. You will have
Rama,
consequences.
Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Abuse
Krishna
patience, yet my
Krishna,
respect for
Hare
the
Hare.
princess.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Mr.
Hare
King, voice
Krishna,
power,
Hare
focus,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
superior
Rama
six.
Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Sons,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
two
Hare, Hare
together,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Baldwin and
Krishna
Hardy.
Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Ram,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram,
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, 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 Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Ram, Ram, Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Hare, Hare
Rama
Ram, Hare Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Rama,
Ram, Hare
Rama
Hare Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances. We all offer our respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Thanks everybody for participating in this lively discussion and program. Thanks Vishwakarma Prabhu in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Ram Raghava Prabhu in Georgia. Madame Rochisa Devi Dasi dans les Laurentides dans la belle province de Québec. Vijay Pandit Prabhu in Italy, somewhere in a park. Tutte le glorie sua divina grazia Srila Prabhupada. Grazie mille, Hare Krishna. Bhaktin Amber Andy in Alaska. Makshin Prabhu in Belarus. Michael Dillon in Yuba City, California. Viprahita Prabhu, the father of Ram Raghava, somewhere in Georgia. Bhakta Roy in Mississippi. Amshuman Prabhu in India. Bhakta Vinay in South India. Shreya Mataji, somewhere in India, somewhere in South India. Kanta Prabhu in Trinidad. Krishna Katha. Where are the Srimad Bhagavatams? Krishna Katha in San Diego, California. Rupa Goswami Prabhu, not to be forgotten, in Mumbai, India. Janas Priya Prabhu in Hawaii somewhere. Shiv Narayana Prabhu in Japan, and whoever has attended, thank you for the participation. Please join us on Wednesday for the Chaitanya Charitamrita reading at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, California time, corresponding to 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, and back to you in the studio. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Play that bass, chant your peace. Don't be shy, chant along, chant along.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam. So, we should be distinct from the so-called Goswamis. Those who will remain in Vrindavan, it's like everywhere. Everywhere is Vrindavan. Wherever there is Krishna's temple, Krishna's Sankirtan, that is Vrindavan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that my mind is always Vrindavan, because he is always thinking of Krishna. Krishna is there. He is Krishna himself, just to teach us
So similarly, where you live, if you are actually follower of the instruction of Krishna, as Krishna says, Manmana bhava bhakta madhyaji mang namaskuru, then that is Vrindavan. Wherever you live. Do not think that because in Melbourne we have got a temple, the Melbourne deity is here, so that is not Vrindavan, that is also Vrindavan. If you very rigidly follow the rules and regulations, so whatever you do, that is Vrindavan. Especially this Vrindavan Dham, where Krishna actually appeared. So, this is Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan. Here, those who will manage this institution, they must be first-class Goswami. This is my purpose. Not Grihamedi. Not Grihamedi. Goswami. Because this place was excavated by the Goswamis, Sara Goswami, Sanatana Goswami came here, Rupa Goswami came here, and then other Goswamis, Jiva Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, all joined together for executing the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to write books about Krishna, his pastimes, his Leela, very, I will say, highly spiritual understanding books they wrote. Nana Shastra Vichara Naika Nipuno, Sadharma Samasthapaku. This is the business of the Goswami. The symptoms. The first symptom is Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Paru. They are always busy. Krishna Kirtan. Krishna Kirtan means, just like we perform Kirtan with whole karta, this is also Kirtan. And to write books, that is also Krishna Kirtan. And to read books, that is also Krishna Kirtan. Not that simply this Kirtan is Kirtan. If you write books about Krishna, if you read books about Krishna, if you talk about Krishna, you think of Krishna, you cook for Krishna, you eat for Krishna, so that is Krishna Kirtan. Therefore, Goswami means 24 hours engaged in Krishna Kirtan, in this way or that. Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Paru. How? Premamritam Nidhi. Because they are merged into the ocean of Krishna Prem. Unless we have got Krishna Prem, love for Krishna, how we can remain satisfied simply in the business of Krishna? That is not possible. Those who have not developed love for Krishna, they cannot be engaged 24 hours in the business of Krishna. We should consider that we should save time always to be absorbed in Krishna business. The period we sleep, that is wasted. That is wasted. So we shall try to save time. Kirtaniya Sadahari. Hari is another name of Krishna. The Sada, 24 hours. That actually the Goswamis used to do. They are our example. They are sleeping not more than 2 hours, at most 3 hours. Nidrahara Viharakadi Vijito. They conquered over, this is Goswami, they conquered over these things. What is that? Nidrahara. Nidra, ahara, vihara. Vihara means sense enjoyment. And ahara means eating or collecting, general eating, ahara. And nidra. Nidrahara viharakadi vijito. Conquered. That is Goswami. Not that out of 24 hours, 36 hours sleeping. And at the same time passing on as Goswami. What is this Goswami? Godas. They are Godas. Go means senses, and Das means servant. So our policy should be, instead of becoming servant of the senses, we have to become servant of Krishna. This is Goswami. Because unless you conquer over senses, will always ask him, please eat, please sit, please have sexual intercourse, please have this, please have this. This is material life. This is material life. Subjected to the dictation of the senses. That is material life. And one has to become, Goswami means the mind is dictating. Please eat more, please sleep more, please have sex more, please have defense fund more. So this is materialism. Defense fund means to keep money. That is defense fund. So this is materialism. The spirituality means no. There is no. Midara. This sense is dictating, do this, do that, do that, do that. And you have to become so strong that you will rightly reply, no, this is not. Then Goswami. This is Goswami. Grihomedi, Grihastha, appearing like the same. But Grihastha means no dictation of the sense. Then you become Goswami. Then as Narottam Das Thakur says, Griheva monete thake ha Gauranga bole na. Ha Gauranga, always chanting Nitai Gaur, thinking of Nitai Gaur. Such person, Narottam Das Thakur says, Griheva, he may be a sannyasi or he may be a grihastha, it doesn't matter. Because he is absorbed in the thought of Nitai Gaur. Narottam mage tar sam. Narottam is always desiring to associate with such person. Griheva monete thake ha Gauranga bole dake. Narottam mage tar sam. Narottam is always desiring the society of such person. Krishnat kirtana gana nartana karo premamritamani dhi dhira dhira janapriyo. And Goswami has to become very dear to all classes of men. There are two classes of men, dhira and adhira. Dhira means one who has controlled the senses, and adhira means one who could not. Goswami said, very kind to all classes of men. Dhira, dhira, janapriyo. So how the Goswami can be, when 6 Goswamis were here in Vrindavan, they are so popular to the whole people. Even in this Vrindavan town, the village people, if they had some quarrel with husband and wife, they would go to Sanatana Goswami. Sir, there is some disagreement between us. You settle up. You are wrong. That's all. They will accept. Let's see how they popular they were. Sanatana Goswami would give decision among their family quarrels. So, dhira dhira janapriyo. These ordinary men, they are not saintly persons, but they are devoted to Sanatana Goswami. Therefore their life was successful, because they would abide by the orders of Sanatana Goswami, therefore they are also liberated. They may be personally wrong, but they abided by the Sanatana Goswami, and Sanatana Goswami was kind to them. This is the Goswami. You can also call them, give them prasadam, treat them very nicely. Just here, Hare Krishna, you come here,
chant Hare Krishna, take prasad, they will be under your control. They will be under your control. As soon as they become under your control, we make advance immediately. Because under the Vaishnava, he agrees to abide by. Because he offers, just like when we walk, they say, Hare Krishna, Jai Radhe, that is the method of offering respect. So, if these ordinary people offer respect to the Vaishnava, they become their Lord. So you must be Vaishnava, otherwise why they will offer you respect? Respect cannot be demanded, it must be commanded. By seeing you, they will give you respect. Then Dhṛtarāṣṭra jana priyo. This is Goswami. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.